Plaintiff Erica Stewart met the defendant while working together, and Erica took her under her wing. Erica claimed she helped teach the defendant to drive, but while trying to park, the defendant hit the gas instead of the brakes, went into a ditch, and hit a fence. Erica is suing for the car damages. Defendant Alajiana Carroll says she moved out on her own at the age of 17. And although she admits that Erica has been helpful, she insists she also had to learn a lot on her own. Alajiana insists Erica told her she didn't have to pay for the damages, and therefore she denies owing.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
I had met Alajiana working at the airport. We worked at the airport. We sold high-end electronics, headphones, speakers, things like that. I noticed that she was like very carefree. She would turn off the store's music whenever the managers left and put on her own music and, start twerking. Not really.
Twerking in the store?
Twerking in the store.
Would the customers see her?
Yeah, they'd be walking by. Someone see it.
I'd like to shop there.
So I decided to take her under my wing because I could tell that she really needed the guidance. She was dating this guy at the time. He got into some trouble with the law. I didn't want that to have a negative impact on her life because she's so young.
Good. How old is she?
19.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
And that was a year ago?
Just about, yeah. And so, where was I?
You didn't want it to have a negative effect, so you took her under your wings.
Right, and she had told me she'd moved out of her aunt's house, so I was helping her find an apartment that was within her means. I helped her budget it out, so she'd stay on top of her money.
Good.
Yep.
We need more people to mentor younger folks. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm military baby, so I just kind of have that structure built in. Both my parents were Army. I'm planning on going to the Air Force, hopefully 2020.
And financial literacy is one of the #1 things these young folks need to know.
Yes, yes.
How to manage their money and spend it properly in a way that accommodates their lifestyle that they can afford.
Very true.
Not something that one time they have a little emergency, they have $0 in the bank, or have a lifestyle of begging for what you need but buying what you want.
Right, right.
Some folks that have everything they want, and then the main things they need, they come to you for. All right, can you help me with the rent? Got a brand new bag.
That's kind of how our relationship was, yeah. But yeah, I'm military baby, so I just had that structure built in.
How did it work out? Was she following any of your lead?
I like to think, I was having a good impact on her.
All right, let me hear from you about your association with your friend.
Well, she's not wrong. We did build a friendship over work, and we were really close. She was, helping me out and taking me underneath her wing, helping me guide me through life, basically, kind of. But also, I already had some of those, things built into myself because I was not raised by my mother. I was raised by my great aunt, and my father had passed when I was younger, so I didn't have an opportunity to meet him, So I feel like all in the sense of me having, to raise myself also since I was 17, because I moved out of my mother's house when I was 17 years old, due to me and her not really getting along like that. My great aunt, I call her my mother too, but I moved out because she had told me I had to come home at a certain time on New Year's. I didn't want to come home at that certain time. I felt like because I was turning 18, I should be able to stay out a little bit longer.
I think you did right. When you turn 18 and you don't want to follow the rules in somebody else's house, you move. You did right.
Yes.
Now what? After that, how did that work out for you?
It worked out wonderful for me.
Good. All right. With the exception of you getting sued today. And with the exception of you twerking on the job. How did that work out? You still have that job?
No.
That didn't work out so well, did it?
No.
You twerking on the new job?
No.
Wow.
I wasn't twerking on the old one either.
You never twerked, as she said? She just made that up?
Yeah, she made that up because I would not twerk. I would turn on the music, and I'm just a carefree person, so I would dance. And the
dance
customers
on the job,
actually
turn on the
that.
music and dance on the job.
And they would
You doing
come
that
in
on
and
your
dance
current
with me.
job?
Yes, I do have a current job.
You do that?
No, I don't do
I
that.
didn't think so.
No.
You learned your lesson, hopefully. Go ahead. What else you want me to know?
Well...
You have a carefree lifestyle at age 19, but you pay all your rent on your own, right?
Yeah, I do.
All right, and you pay everything about cars other than with her.
No,
We're going to find out. No?
I don't really feel like I owe her.
All right, we're going to find that out. How does she owe you $3,000 for damage?
Okay, so she had been begging me for months to teach her how to drive. She had
At
some...
what age?
This was 19.
18.
We had went to this empty parking lot. We drove around. Well, she drove around. She did really good.
I did really good when I left home. I did great. I did. Can't even drive. Go ahead.
We had driven to her boyfriend's house, and that's where the problem happened. So she was trying to park. Something happened. She freaked out. She accidentally hit the gas instead of the brake, drove through a fence, into a ditch, and hit an abandoned house on the other side. She was really scared. She kept telling me, don't call the police, don't call the police. But, I called the police anyway because I'm a responsible adult. They said they couldn't come out at that time because they were handling other issues. They were only doing like emergency calls, and since no one was hurt, they said just to come back in and file a report later. I just never got around to it. She kept telling me that she was going to pay me once her income taxes came in, and I already know what you're going to say because, it's the oldest trick in the book, but I wanted to believe her. And I kept calling her. I would call her. She would say, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. And then, the excuses came. Every week it was an excuse. And then eventually, towards the end of June, she just kind of blocked me, and I haven't really.
So you haven't received a dime. Young lady, what do you want to tell me?
She was not calling me. That's not how it happened. And only reason why she didn't file the police report is because the night that the incident happened, the police answered the phone.
Tell me about the incident and whether you're responsible. That's what I want.
No, I'm not responsible because she told me that I did not have to pay her for the incident.
Okay, did you tell her that?
No.
Prove that she told you that.
I don't have any evidence with me
Okay,
today.
then you're liable. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff. I hope you learned some responsibility. You do seem to think life is a joke so far. And let me ask you, you have children?
Nope.
Okay, good. What type of job or skills do you have?
I work for a corporate company.
No, skills. Where did you acquire skills in?
Customer service.
Okay, so those are the only jobs you could qualify for? Because computers is about to take all that. Computers are going to take that customer service. I promise you. It's called AI, artificial intelligence. They're going to answer every question you want to know. Won't need you anymore. So where you going to get hired then? What skill?
I'm going to go to school.
There you go. When? Because you're 19.
My job is paying for me to go to school, actually.
Okay, then tell me about your skill level. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Well, it was nice that you told a bunch of lies today.
Yeah.
But it worked out for you, clearly.
You should go twerk.
It's
That's
okay.
what you're good at.
Yeah, that's what I'm good at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, people liked me in the store. I actually sold. You didn't. So we'll see. You just told a bunch of lies today. I feel like
nice to be
you told the story wrong. I feel like if you're gonna bring in someone younger underneath your wing, to help and guide, you should try to guide the right way
If
instead
I'm not
of the wrong
mistaken, you
way.
told the judge that you paid Britt by yourself this whole time?
Yeah, I
By
have.
yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm the liar. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plaintiff Juanita Perryman says recently her mother and father split up because her father was having an affair with the defendant. Juanita is suing because she claims the defendant is to blame for her house exploding. Defendant Natasha King says Juanita never liked her because they're the same age. And now Natasha is 6 months pregnant with Juanita's sister. Natasha's countersuing for defamation of character.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
All right, tell me how you know the defendant and anything else you want me to know.
She dates my father. We are the same age.
How old is that?
I'm 31.
All righty.
My father is 57. Mm-hmm. So in January of 2018, my mom and my father, they split up.
Okay.
They split up because he was cheating with her. And so my mom was just like, I want you out the house. So I told my father, I said, you can come stay with me, but there was a stipulation. He was not allowed to have anybody in my house if I was not there. but he did anyways. Her.
Okay.
They would do nothing but drink and fight. Toy does drugs real bad. Like, she smokes weed all the time, popping pills. They got into an altercation one day, and he says she threw a toaster at him. She says he threw her into the wall. I don't know, but I just know I had like a huge hole in my wall. Okay.
When you spoke with your dad about it, what did he say?
That, you know, he was just like, you know, Toy crazy. She started flipping out, and we were arguing. Prior to even him moving in, she had stabbed him in his hand.
Do you have proof of that?
Do I have proof?
When the response is, when someone makes an allegation and the first response is, do you have proof?
Yeah.
That typically means they did it. Go ahead. So go ahead. You don't have to go no further than that.
So,
go ahead.
Anyway, she was not supposed to be there. And I told him after that incident, listen, if you bring her here again, and I mean, period, like, you have to go too. So he's like, okay, everything, you know, it won't happen again. Don't worry about it. I appreciate you letting me stay here, this, that, and the other. But that was not the only time. The next time they got into a fight again in like the middle of the night, my neighbors called the police. And he went to jail because he had a warrant for violation of probation. So I pretty much at that point thought I was done with her. Less than a week after he went to jail, I was at work and one of my neighbors called me.
Okay, before you get into the details regarding your house, let me hear some background from you, ma'am. What do you want to tell me?
Well, I know Way needed by dealing with her father on and off for a year. Not only that, I'm pregnant with her father's baby.
Congratulations.
Yes, I am. She doesn't like me because, of course, I am the same age as her. Her father is 57. I feel like you should not worry about that.
Baby.
You should not worry about that.
That's his baby.
She's worrying about the wrong things.
And that's his baby.
Yes, it is. And you're going to be a big sister.
I already am.
So, anyway.
And you're her
Stepmom. Hi.
Ma'am. Hey. I don't let people come in here and disrespect their parents. So watch your mouth.
She don't have no
One
respect
thing you
for me.
can't do, you don't disrespect your mama in front of me. Go ahead, Mama.
Our relationship does not have anything to do with you. I have
Ma'am,
not
talk
did
to me.
anything but respect her.
How about all this fighting and you were told not to be there or what have you? Were you aware that you weren't supposed to be there?
Well, I had a key to there, so
Who
how
gave
am
it
I?
to you?
He did.
Okay.
So why you climbing the window?
I lost the key.
Quiet, ma'am.
Lost the key.
Go ahead.
If I was not supposed to be there, or if she didn't like me being there, I'm pretty sure she could have called the police. I could have
did.
removed. Why didn't they remove me? Like they told her, in order to
Because it wasn't a crime, it was a civil
right, but in
complaint.
order, like if you've been there over 30 days, you have to evict someone. So I've been there over 30 days. Not only that, I get mail there. So
So you moved in. You're a resident.
basically,
I know what you thought. She moved in on you.
and
Go ahead. Had
sorry.
mail coming in there?
so when he went to jail, I continued to still go over there.
That's right.
Why?
And live there.
Because it was her
Sleep
place.
there. Wash up
Come
there.
on, know why. It's her place. And
and
do you contribute? How much do you pay on it?
Nothing.
Okay. You got a good deal.
Yeah.
All
He-
right.
He
And now you definitely got to be there because you're pregnant with her brother.
her sister.
Sister.
Yes.
I know
her
you
sister.
ain't going to put your own sister out. You definitely got
But
a
I'm
right.
not there anymore. It's not there.
What's not there?
The house.
Tell me what happened, ma'am.
When he went to jail, I did one, like I said, the first time my neighbor called me and said she was breaking in the window through the back. I went down there and I told her, listen, he's in jail. You have no reason to be here. Don't come back to my house at all. She left. She left. She had no clothes there. She was getting no mail there. She was a guest of his, just every so often. He didn't even pay anything. A week after I put her out the first time, I got a call again. She's down here again. My neighbor called me. So I left, I came down there, and that time I did call the police. And they told you, they made you leave. Say that didn't happen.
No.
Her mom came, they allowed her to call her mom to pick her up to leave. They sat there until you left.
Yeah, to leave to get a
So
cool
why would
down,
they make you
sweetheart.
leave?
Like they told you, in order for me to leave, you
You
had
were
to
not
evict me.
I didn't have to evict somebody that was not a resident.
Ma'am, why don't you tell me what happened?
Something's wrong with you. And just to touch on that whole the baby mind thing, for first and foremost, the baby may be related to my children, but not me. And that's because she dates their other grandfather. She likes old men. Like, stop playing. She likes old men. She acting like her and my father, they're so exclusive and this and that. She's like they said, she's a drifter. She sleeps wherever she can so she can get me a Social Security check. Like, stop playing.
Social Security? She play for
They don't
Social
get no
Security?
money. They don't get no money.
She's
They
lying.
don't get no money.
You playing for Social
No,
Security?
no.
She don't have anything to offer
That's
them.
what
I
the
mean,
church ladies do. Church ladies turn 70, they looking for a man, they going whoever got that pension.
Exactly.
Whoever got that pension, that's who's getting it. Go ahead.
But that's,
I'm trying to lighten it up, because,
Just
but
something
this
she
is
said.
very serious. I'm sure
Yeah, 'cause
what's
she's
about
just
to
lying.
come. Let's get to the serious part. All jokes aside, what happened with your house?
On May 14th, I was at work and I started getting phone calls from various people, and they were like, hey, your house is on fire. Somebody else was like, hey, the house burned down. And so I'm like, what's going on? So I called my fiance. I'm like, look, we need to drive down to the house, see what's going on. So I met him, and then we drove over to the house. When I got on my street, they had like the fire crews and everything. They had the street blocked off. And I walked down, they had like the crime scene tape up and everything. And it wasn't a house. The roof was on the ground, and it was like debris, firemen, like the house had exploded. It was gone.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, it exploded.
Let me see that, please. House exploded. Yeah. And so how do you know she did it?
I was talking to, again, my neighbor, like they had the investigators out there, like the council people came. It was just like a whole bunch of stuff going on. And my neighbor was like, I saw her, like she climbed in the window again.
A neighbor saw her climb through the window.
Yeah, she climbed through the window again. And she was like, they just heard she was like, the house shook.
How long after did the neighbors hear the explosion?
She said about like less than an hour. It was about like an hour. She was like, we heard like a real big boom and they windows like shattered or something. She was like, I didn't know. She was like, I thought like it was a earthquake or something. I didn't know what was going on. So they ran outside. She was like, and she was like, it was crazy. It was like, I guess smoke just coming up.
Let me ask about the fire. They typically can determine how it was started. What did the fire department determine?
They did an investigation, and he basically said that she tampered with the pilots on the stove, which she admitted to doing to them. She cut on all the pilots on the stove, and that's why they did not press criminal charges on her. He was like, because so much evidence and everything like blew up. It was hard to tell exactly how it was tampered with, but the house filled with a 3-day supply of gas in like 45 minutes through the pilots. And he said she lit a cigarette or something like that, and that was that. And so this is just basically like the report.
Homeowners insurance, man?
We bought the house like cash through the land bank, and so we wasn't required to have it.
No.
I should have definitely had it.
What do you say to this, man?
I didn't blow her house up.
Okay. How did you get in?
I climbed through the window. The key, I lost the key. I climbed through the window. When I climbed through the window, it was cold in there, so I turned the eye on. And the reason why I turned the eye on, because her pilot down there is you have to light it in order to turn on the heat. That's why the stove was even involved. I lit the stove. In the midst of me doing that, I was cleaning up around there because it was junky. I fixed me a sandwich, and I go outside to smoke a cigarette. and I wakes up in the hospital. I don't feel that I blew up your house. I do apologize for your house, but I'm not responsible for that.
You weren't even supposed to be in there.
The city was working around there. I am blessed that I walked away with just a few burns.
You had no
it's
business there.
Listen,
I don't give you no sympathy because you got hurt for somewhere you should never have been.
If I had no business there, I would not been there.
How does she defame you? Your counterclaim is
She's going around
$5,000.
telling everyone that I blew up her house.
You did.
She's telling her, how did I blow up your house? How? The evidence that she giving you is saying that what?
I'm sorry.
Said that her house was blown up and that you entered the house through the window, an illegal act. That's what they're saying. And so, if that's what your defamation claim is, it's dismissed. Because what she has said is correct. You entered her home illegally. Whatever happened after your illegal entry, you are responsible for it. Whatever happened, based on the testimony I'm hearing and based on the character that you have demonstrated in here with your answers, I believe you did it. And if you turn on all those pilots, which is true by your own admission, you were negligent in doing it. I am so sorry. It hurts me, ma'am, to hear this. It hurts me. This is horrible. All right, judgment for the plaintiff. That's all I can tell you. Good luck to you. Yours is good for me.
Everything she said in there was a lie. Almost everything was a lie. I'm happy he understood that it was a lie. And I just hope that I can now just be rid of her out of my life forever. Like, I never want to see her again, and I don't have a reason to.
The is a liar. I don't give a what she's talking about. I'm glad your house blew up. That's the you get.
And I'm happy you don't have a baby daddy.
Plaintiff Hassan Tyler dated the defendant, and he claims their relationship went downhill after they moved in together. Hassan claims after an argument, the defendant cut up and burned his property. So he's suing for the damages and property. Defendant Anya Mathis says after she moved in with Hassan, she found text messages between him and other women agreeing to meet up, and she ended up catching him in her car with another woman.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Well, I've started 3 years ago. I moved to LA. Everything is peachy. Fast forward 1 year, I meet Anya. As you can see, she's always has been, still is a beautiful woman. So when I saw her, put the Mack down quite strong, you know?
Did it work? They're laughing because now you're in court with her.
Yeah. No, it's real.
They say
It wasn't that strong.
It was electrifying to say the least.
They
and
must
you know
have
it.
fell off.
Sparks were flying from every angle.
Go ahead.
That's how it was happening. So it was good. Everything was gravy. So we go 1 year, and then boom, this year hits January. Everything was fine until she moved in. It started to get weird. The vibe was changing, you know, like we were around each other, but we kind of felt distant still. You know, we were working all the time, and when we weren't working, we were still out just, I guess, having fun with other interests, if anything, you know?
Speak for yourself.
Where were you at? Where were you at?
At work, where I was supposed to be.
Well, you know, whatever. See, that was the issue as well. So she gets out at a certain time. Everything closes in the bars and stuff like that around the same time in LA. Well, why does it take her way too long to get home?
I know, because you didn't put the Mac down strong enough.
No, it was strong. It was strong.
If it was strong, you wouldn't have to worry.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
So I wasn't worried. I was definitely a little concerned about what was going on here. So I'm like, okay, so she's staying out longer than I feel like she's actually supposed to be out. So this is a little bit weird. But you know what? Let me try to make it a little bit better. Valentine's Day is coming up. I want to set up something with me and my girl, you know? I get a nice little restaurant set up. I get the outfit ready. I got a whole little plan thing, a little shebang. Come to find out, while Valentine's Day is happening, she's texting me that she's working late. Now, this happens. People work. But, you know, it's not really like her to miss a full day of me paying for stuff. So, like, I feel like there's something going on here, you know? So you add that in with the weird late nights.
What time did she tell you she was coming back?
You know, she told me she was coming back late. It
like
was
what?
It was just a late, like, there's no time, like, late o'clock. So I'm sitting here like, okay.
Late o'clock.
She didn't give me a specific
And Your Honor,
time.
I work at a bar. Like, anything can happen. We have to close down the bar
Everybody's there on Valentine's Day, right?
Well, you know,
Exactly.
like, this was already pre-planned for like a month ahead of time.
Give me another problem
you know?
you had with the relationship.
Okay, so now she's coming home with more things than she's showing me that she's purchasing here. She's coming home with a random dress on like a Thursday, just like flaunting it out. I'm like, where you getting this dress from?
The store.
You know? She's from the store. That's where everyone gets dresses, but where is it originating from? She says it's from money that she saved from, wherever she was
Working
doing.
till late o'clock.
Working till late o'clock, You get overtime on late o'clock, right? So it comes in, right? So she has all this new stuff that she won't explain where it came from. It just came in on late o'clock. Easy to throw it in that little bucket. She also did not come around for Valentine's Day until the very end, which is something she never does.
What time?
She came in at 2 o'clock in the morning.
For Valentine's Day?
And her shift was supposed to end at 10.
Is that true, man?
On Valentine's Day, I did come in late because they asked me to stay late at work.
Did you call and say that?
No, I'm working a bar. I'm like doing a whole bunch of things. I don't have time to
So I'm
call
feeling
in.
a little upset. Like, you kind of like, I feel like, the whole left me at the altar kind of vibe. So I'm there and it's like, okay, so I'm adding all this in, but I'm not gonna blow up yet because I don't have actual evidence, So she comes in later on at night. I pretend I'm sleeping. She does her shower, whatever like that, goes to sleep, and then I look into her phone a little bit, and I see, I go to the Snapchat, that's what the kids are doing. And there's a lot of kissy goo goo stuff.
Yeah, let me apologize to you up front about doubting it because you come in at 2 a.m. on Valentine's Day. Yeah.
There's questions. Eyebrows are raising. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I'm looking at her
question.
phone and I see a lot of stuff from just random dudes. Now it's like
more than one guy?
Oh, it's like 5 guys sending her emojis and stuff like that, right? But at the end of the day, she could be right because she is a girl that she. Instagram and Snapchat, everyone's doing that, and guys are just thirsty, so they could just be filling up her stuff. But it could also be her just, showing some sugar, and I don't know anything about that, and I'm a little suspicious.
When you all had these discussions, she just denied everything?
Yeah, she just said it's just
you never
guys
saw
being
any
guys.
more evidence that is more convincing?
No, from these what happened, that these videos.
Let me hear from you, young lady.
Well, like he said, everything started off great. Everything was good until I moved in. And everything that he's saying about the Snapchat and this and that and staying out late, those are all things that he was doing as well. You know what I mean? And so it was just like, I felt like he was projecting everything that he was doing onto me. And while he's looking at my phone and seeing all this Snapchat and this, he sees guys messaging me, but he doesn't see me respond. However, when I looked into his phone, I saw a whole different story. There was responses. There was, let's meet up at this time. Let's do this together. My girlfriend works late. It doesn't matter. So I got the evidence.
Is that true?
Everything she's saying is a whole bunch of hoopla.
So it's not true? Is that what you're
see it with my
saying?
own eyes.
It's only true to a certain extent.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Exactly. So I'm seeing all these messages.
When she ain't coming on. Go ahead.
I'm seeing all this evidence of him meeting up with people and everything like that. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna see how this plays out. So I told him one day that I was working late, thinking that he was gonna believe me and go and do some foul stuff, which he did. I ended up catching him in my car with another woman.
Really? Before or after Valentine's?
This was after Valentine's. So I don't know if he was trying to retaliate. I've never cheated on him, ever. Not at all. I may have flirted online with some people, but it never went past that.
I don't know, ma'am. That 2 a.m. Valentine's.
I did not.
I
I
can't
was
get past
working.
that. And you
It's a
talking
little
about you
much,
didn't have a chance to
I did not.
use the phone. All right, ma'am. If that's your story and you sticking with it, and so is he. So how did it end up? What was the breaking point? Was there a particular scenario? I'll let you tell me.
My breaking point was seeing him in my car with another woman.
Did you all argue and then you left because you all were living together?
He didn't even know I saw him at that point.
Okay.
I just saw him, and that's when I went home, and I kind of just I admit I went crazy.
Havoc, Your Honor.
I went a little overboard, and I started ripping up his stuff. You're gonna burn my heart, I'll burn all your stuff too.
Let me allow you to tell me about the breakup and how she owes for rent.
Well, the breakup happened from that event. Of course, she saw some things in my Snapchat that were, it was a little.
We're past that. I know both you all were doing your thing. I mean, can't convince me otherwise.
Well,
So
she
go ahead.
saw me, and then, of course, I came home, and then I saw, all my stuff being damaged. And at that point, it's past us just having an argument. Now it's about, us destroying each other's property and getting to new levels. I got the stuff here. This is a hoodie that I used to wear this in Holder, on this side, and she burned this whole side completely off. These are my shoes. Look at my, Your Honor, she wrote on them, cheater, scumbag. Yeah,
I'm trying to do the women in your life a favor.
Good for nothing. I got them looking like this now. Your Honor, I can't be flying these. I can't put no more Mack down. Look at this. Look at this. Bleach and
That's
burn.
the new style with the.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, that look all right to me. She doing you a favor on that one.
Yeah, this is that life. At this point, you know, it's.
You have a list of the items that she damaged?
Yeah, I have.
Ma'am, you don't have any defense to that, it doesn't sound.
I got pictures.
I did it.
Of the whole thing. All right.
It wouldn't have happened had he not cheated and been in my car with another woman.
We were going over scriptures. Hey.
Scripture.
It was just, no, it was all, you know.
It's one thing if you're gonna lie to me
what do you mean?
and lie to the judge.
What do you
Don't
mean?
lie on God.
What do you mean?
Now you bringing God
That was a
into
good
this.
woman. No, who said it could have been any scripture? Oh, okay, no, we
Jesus
gotta
be
do
the
that.
truth.
We gotta do that. She was a wholesome girl. You don't gotta blame her. She's nice.
All right, and tell me how she owes for the rent.
We agreed that she would be paying $500 every month when she moved in, and she moved
Beginning
in
when again? When was
in
that?
January 2018. And we had this whole issue at the end of June, so since then she hasn't paid me anything.
Okay.
And that's also part of the issue because I feel like she's, using me.
And what was the discussion when she left? I guess not much. Was there a discussion later regarding the rent?
I told her that she needs to pay me all the money for the rent that she owes. And I left it in like a voicemail because, of course, she's not picking up my phone. And from there, it just was nothing.
No response? Ma'am, let me hear about the rent.
I paid rent whenever we first moved in, but after everything started happening, I felt like our agreement was pretty much null and void. You're using me to pay for your rent, to pay for clothes that I damaged but I bought in the first place, to use my car to take other women out. Once that agreement and relationship was in void, that agreement was too.
Okay.
I don't owe you anything.
Yeah, that's not the law. All right. If there was a contract for you all to be co-tenants between the two of you, you can't void that contract just by saying you cheated and so I don't want to live with you. And you took it to a whole nother level where there was no way you all could reconcile and live together because it had become dangerous. And this was what you did. So therefore, I'm going to grant his judgment for rent and damaged property, $4,000. Good luck to you.
Laid the Mack down strong, you heard? Yeah, holla at your boy. Yeah.
Freaking ridiculous.
You know, I don't need her. I don't want her. Her feet stink anyway.
Okay,
Whatever.
Mr. Mac Daddy Sauce.
Whatever,
Get
I put it
outta
down
here.
on you. You know you loved it.
You brought me all the way to Chicago to lie
Sparks
to
were
everybody.
flying from lies.
Lie.
Lies.
Plaintiff Tiana McCain says the defendant is her older sister, and because their mother was addicted to crack, they were raised in separate homes. Tiana claims she let the defendant borrow her water hose, but she forgot to turn the water off and it ran for 2 weeks. So she's suing for the water bill and property damages. Defendant Marnetta McCain says when she turned 18, she got legal custody of Tiana, who was 14 at the time. Shortly after she moved in with Marnetta, Tiana became pregnant, but fortunately she still graduated high school. Marnetta insists she turned the hose off when she left Tiana's house and therefore doesn't owe her for anything.
Start with you.
Okay, well, Marnetta is my older sister. We have 5 other siblings, and we didn't really grow up together. Our mother, she was sick, and she also was on drugs, so we kind of got separated throughout the family. So,
How many of you all grew up together?
my aunt adopted me, so I kind of grew up there by myself. But my grandmother had my sister Marnetta and my other brother and my little brother, and my other sister was with another family member. But Marnetta stayed across the street from me for a lot of times that we were growing up, so we did still interact with each other. We just weren't in the same house.
What type of drugs was your mother on?
On crack.
Always got to say something about that because it is one of the biggest tragedies in modern American history. Wiped out a whole generation, crack did, and probably overwhelming majority of children that particularly the mother became addicted to crack. They get separated and they're not together and they're raised separately, and it's directly a result of the crack addiction. And so it just bothers me when I hear it because I've experienced all that too.
Yes, and
and
we
have
were
seen it happen. One, I think I may have made reference to this. One relative, her mother was addicted to crack, and she probably saw it twice in life, and she had 8 children, all while she was on crack. It's just sad to hear, but it's good to see when folks come out all right. So glad to see you ladies were able to overcome one of America's biggest challenges. Now they have the heroin epidemic. Looks like they're not going to let that get as far, so because more and more we saw what happened with the crack epidemic.
Right.
All right, so you all were at least across the street from each other. Very good.
Yes.
And that was how many of you all lived across the street from each other?
It was about 4 of us that lived across the street from
That's
each other,
good.
but we
All
all
right.
were with family members, so we still interacted all
So
the time.
you all interacted? Great. You were
Yes.
fortunate.
So-
You were fortunate.
So when Marnetta turned 18, she got her first apartment, and I moved in with her. And I was only about 14, going on 15, and I soon later got pregnant. So I was staying with her, and our relationship was okay, but we'd always fought over the smallest things. Like, for instance, we got into a physical fight before over the dishes. In the end, we always, come back together because we know we're sisters, we're all we have. So it was never like a big deal. So
You all finished high school, both of you?
Well, yes, I graduated high school. She went on to get her GED
Good.
because she had a child as a teenager as well.
All right.
So, and we
Anybody
both,
go further than that?
yeah, we both went on and got medical assistant certificates after that. And
Excellent.
I'm still in school now. I'm doing pre-occupational therapy, and I'm just working full time and things like that.
Good. Proud of y'all. You give me some background.
All right, well, Tiana is my younger sister. We're 3 years apart. Like she said, we grew up around family members. And when I got 18, I got my own place, and I did get custody of her at the time.
Okay.
And then
Legal custody?
yes, legal
All right.
custody. And then she became pregnant. We argued a lot, just like she said. Like, you know how siblings do.
Young
argue.
ones, particularly.
Right. And we did get into a fight. It was like a real fist fight. I ran up
How
on her.
old were you all then?
I want to say I was 23 at the time, 24 or something like that. And
She
about
was
20,
she was
21.
in her 20s as
Yeah,
well? All right.
yeah. Eventually our brothers broke it up. We left, and then after that, we got back cool.
Good.
Like, you know how sisters do.
All right, good. And you still working on advancing yourself as well?
Yes,
You
yes, I
working
am.
in the medical assistant area right now?
No, I'm not working in the medical assistant area.
Why?
Right now I'm doing,
You want to or not?
yeah, I want to.
What city you're in?
Cleveland.
All right. I know my staff say you put everything on us, Judge. Yeah, now you're making us get folks jobs. I'm going to ask my staff to help you get a job.
Oh, okay.
In your field, because you've paid your dues, you've done it, you've
Right.
overcome tremendous obstacles, and I want to help you.
All right,
and if
thank
they don't help you enough, then I'm going to get on the phone myself. And I'll threaten them. You give her a job or something coming over there, I know y'all probably doing wrong anyway. I'll be over at that clinic in a minute. How about that? And tell me why you're suing her.
Well, I'm suing her because on May 17th, she texted me while I was at work, and she asked could she wash her car at my house. So I agreed to let her wash her car. A couple weeks later, while at work, I got an email from my water company stating that they noticed a huge spike in usage. So I raced home, I called my landlord. I get to the house, and we find that the water hose was leaking because the handle was broken off. She obviously broke the handle, so the yard was flooded. Some of the water leaked into my basement, and it didn't flood the basement, but they had like dehumidify and sanitize it. And
What'd she say?
well, when I first told her about it, she's like, oh, you know what? It was leaking after I left, but she had never told me at the time. So I'm thinking like, well, maybe if you would have told me right away, we could have addressed it at that time. Once that incident
What happened? What happened?
Well, I went over there, washed my car. I turned the water on like normal. Everything was fine. And then when I got done washing my car, I turned the water hose off.
So how did it break, though?
Well, you know how you turn the water hose off and it's still a little water that come out after you turn it off. So that's what I thought the case was. I didn't know that it was going to keep running or anything. I didn't pay attention and I didn't go back and check to see if it was a problem.
I put the hose in the swimming pool probably about 3 p.m. and no one went outside after that. And by midnight, I was on my way to bed. I said, hold up, I think I might have left. When I went outside, it was flooded. The yard was flooded. And my wife tried to fuss at me. I said, hold on, don't forget, you ruined the kitchen floors that time. In fact, we had to move for a couple of weeks because it ruined all of the floor, which was a pretty large area. So I got a pass. You didn't have to move either.
Right,
So give her a pass.
No, my water bill went up. It skyrocketed. I have the bill to show my usage, my normal usage versus my usage after the fact.
But you'll be all right because we're going to get you in your field. All right. Yep, I'm going to have to grant it to her. $1,406. All right. Good luck to you, ladies, and we'll talk to you soon, all right?
All right, thank you.
All right, good luck.
You still my sister, and I love you, and I know we still gonna have our little fights sometimes, but
Right.
as long as we always go back to the same way.
Right, just like she said, she's my sister. I love her. We're going to overcome this anyway, so.
Plaintiff Skonisha Coleman dated the defendant, but she claims it was a short relationship because once she got to know the defendant, she realized he was a heavy drinker and a lying womanizer. Skonisha's suing her ex today for car damages. Defendant Leviticus Magid insists he and Skonisha were nothing more than friends with benefits, and she knew he wasn't looking for a relationship. Leviticus says they stopped seeing each other because Skonisha became aggressive, and he does not believe he owes Skonisha for car damages.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Okay, well, me and Leviticus, we met quickly. Well, we started dating quickly and we ended very quickly. We met at my mother's birthday party December in 2016. He was handsome. I was looking at him. He's a polite person, has good conversation. He was an honest guy that I seen. So we started to date really quickly. After that, I really
What do you mean by really quickly?
Meaning we wasn't together that long. We basically was together for like 2 to 3 months. And
It was hot and heavy or what? What was it like?
it was a
After
lot.
all, his name is Magic. You put that magic on you? That magic on you, doctor.
Some wicked magic, if you want to call it that.
That's his name, Leviticus Magic. Isn't that your name?
Yeah, that's his name.
All right. That make him more handsome to you or something?
He's
I'm just
handsome.
wondering,
He's a handsome
okay.
guy.
All right.
Can't doubt him for that. I'm gonna give him that one. But I met him at my mom's house, and he was a handsome guy, as we both just seen ourselves. We ended quickly, mostly because Leviticus, when I got to actually know him, he's a liar, he's a womanizer, and he drinks pretty heavy.
You give me some background, sir.
I met Skonisha Coleman in December of 2016. Like she said, we met through mutual friends, but as far as the relationship, we were like she said, it started quickly and it ended quickly.
Why?
It's because it wasn't a relationship, you know? It was more like friends with benefits, you know?
I'm gonna let you get
How often would you all see each other?
Huh?
How
Every day.
often would you see each other?
When we started today, we was together
Let him
every
finish.
day. I'm
Go
sorry, I'm
ahead.
gonna get him his same.
How often would you see each other?
When I would get drunk.
That's terrible. How often would that
And that's every day.
Probably like 3 days a week. 3 days out of a week.
be? You got drunk
nights out
3
of a week.
days a week?
No.
Every day after week.
That mean if you're admitting the 3, she's closer to the truth every day.
Thank you.
Okay,
She
well.
putting something on it and you taking something off of it.
Okay, well, like when we first started, like I told her, I had just got out of a relationship.
You told you that?
No.
Go ahead. Now you hesitated. That mean he did. Go
exactly.
ahead.
And I told her that I wasn't looking for a relationship. You know, like I'm living life right now. I'm partying. So of course, like I'm drinking like 5-6 days a week.
Told you. You said 3. Now we're up to 6.
So like I'm
oh my God.
I'm partying though, and I'm enjoying myself. I'm 24. So she started getting attached, right? And she started getting crazy. So the loud and aggressive is what she brought out of me, like, cause like I had to be, you know.
What does that mean, aggressive?
Aggressive meaning she would call me, right? She
You
would
didn't
blow my
assault
phone
her.
up. No, never,
okay,
never.
Not aggressive in that way.
I'm a good guy.
All right. So you don't have to do that. The worst thing you can do to a woman is not be with her.
Leave.
That'll hurt her much more than anything else.
Yeah, because my presence is
That's everything. She said she probably rather you do something to her than leave.
Exactly. No, like seriously though.
Please, Your Honor, not at all. I would rather him go ahead and leave. Bye-bye. I'm not holding him captive at all.
I guess.
Don't guess.
So
do you work?
Huh? Yes.
Do you work?
Yes.
Not when he was messing with me, Your Honor.
So what happened?
I'm trying to figure out too. You work now, so what happened? You finally got your job?
After I stopped messing with you, I got a job.
Look, see, he want to do better when he leave me. He want to be around me when he ain't got nothing.
But you was holding me back. You was holding.
I was holding you back, but let you tell him we weren't in a relationship though. So how was I holding you back?
Right.
If anything, I try to boost you up. I was helping you make resumes and trying to do things for you to look for a job.
And I got
Oh,
By the way, this is about car damages.
It is.
Right. So let's get to that.
And it sounds like it's your car.
My car?
Yeah, that's been damaged. Look, she messed
Right.
up.
And that means he had to drive your car.
Yeah, he did.
Meaning he didn't have his own.
Exactly.
Go ahead. Tell me what happened.
So,
spend more time taking care of his business than chasing all these women he's talking about, then he wouldn't have to drive his main woman's car.
he could drive his own if he would have put some effort into getting a job. But
go ahead. He too busy running around chasing women. You can't
drinking,
get up and go to work after
well.
getting drunk all night and messing around with women, and you wake up, you probably got, how many jobs you been fired from?
I quit.
How many? Head?
I never been fired.
How many did you quit?
A lot. All of them.
Go ahead. Tell me what happened to your car.
April 22nd, 2017, I was kind of running behind. Well, I didn't want to run behind for work because I had just started this particular job. So I asked for him to drop me off at work and then just to come and pick me up. Around maybe around like 6 a.m., I texted him. That was my break. I was texting him just to see what he was doing. He didn't reply, so I just instantly assumed that he was asleep, or he was just asleep. And once 9 a.m. came, and this is the time that I'm getting off, he didn't respond to me. His phone was going straight to the voicemail. I didn't get any answer from him or any response at all.
Go ahead.
I got in contact with a mutual friend of ours, and he told me that Leviticus was in a car accident in my vehicle. And at this time, I still haven't spoken with him. He was in a hospital for his lip. When I finally did speak with him, he told me that he was in a car accident. Somebody swiped him while he was in the car. So I'm like, okay, wherever you at, let's just meet up, which was particularly where my car was hit at. So when I get there, the car wasn't there, Your Honor. So he moved my car to his aunt's house, somebody's house. He moved my vehicle, but when I got there, I was telling him we was gonna meet up, so why would you move my car? When I got to my car was damaged. It from the glass to the side door, even the front bumper. But if you was swiped, how is my front bumper damaged? Why is my window cracked?
Please tell me he wasn't drinking.
Well, not that I know of.
Okay. Did the police come? The
police came.
Okay.
I have the police report as well, the accident report.
All right, sir. What happened?
These are your pictures.
Yeah.
I was driving and I will admit I was driving a little fast. So when I made the turn, it was someone double parked with no hazards, and it was either avoid like hit fast on the brakes and risk getting hit by oncoming traffic, or like slow down as much as I can and bump the car in front of me. So I chose my life. Cars are replaceable. My life isn't. So I bumped the car or whatever, split my lip on the inside, to the point where the police made me go to the hospital, because I was like, no, it's just a busted lip, but it was open, dislocated my right shoulder. Yeah, I was hurt. dislocated my right shoulder. And like they took me to the hospital. The police parked the car. I wasn't drunk. Like they breathalyzed me. They like took blood, did all of that. Like it was no intoxication. I'm in the hospital. My phone was in her car after the accident, so I couldn't call her. No, when I was calling her, she was working, so she didn't answer. I'm calling her from the hospital.
He never.
Calling her from the hospital. She didn't answer or whatever, but she was at work. So like I'm not, Anyways, when I get out of the hospital, to be honest, I lied. I didn't get sideswiped. I hit somebody's car. But I told her that because I know like she cares
Why don't
way
you
too
think
much
you
about
should
this car.
pay?
Huh?
Why don't you think you should pay?
Because I was in the midst of doing her a favor. I dropped her off at work. People don't plan accidents. It happened.
Yeah, honest.
Okay.
See what I gotta do.
And like I was willing to like help her with the damages, but she pretty much said like she didn't care about my injuries. Like, okay, that's just the busted lip. No, I had to get stitches. So like after she told me she didn't care about my injuries, okay, I don't care about your car. You can get another car, I can't get another life.
And what type of thinking is that as you? If you're somebody that I'm dating, why would you not?
We weren't dating.
But you was living with me though. We wasn't dating though.
Ma'am?
I'm sorry.
So he agreed at one point to pay you or not?
Yes, and he actually signed the little compensation.
I don't
I
remember
have
signing
the.
anything.
You don't remember
Let's see
saying it.
Let's see it. Agreement?
An
What is
agreement
it?
stating that he was going to pay me back for my car.
All right, she shows me.
Can I see
is
it?
that yours? Do you have your ID? You don't even know what your signature looks like? You got to compare your own signature.
It don't look like mine, Your Honor.
Let me see your ID.
Thank you.
Remember, I'm drunk 5-6 days a week.
Doesn't
You
matter.
are?
He said it doesn't look like yours. And ma'am, it looks nothing like his signature.
I did
Why
not
did you
forge
have
his
to
signature.
lie?
I did not lie, sir. He definitely
Print
sent
it,
that.
sir. Print your name. Because it is printed. Instead
That's fine.
of the
I would not
signature.
forge his signature at all. If anything,
Right.
if I couldn't get it, I'd still be in court today.
And either way, sir, you were negligent. You've admitted you were going fast, you lied, you did about 2 or 3 things wrong. And you're right, you can't replace a life. But a car is replaceable. And the signature is the same, so replace it. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.